So this is just a short video to help the participants of the golf study get comfortable with using GolfMetrics, which is the smartphone application that we're going to be using to record your golf performance, so your on-course scoring and statistics. This app was designed by Mark Brody, who has designed ShotLink for the PGA Tour, where they use shots gained as the metric. Where you are able to compare different parts of your game to a professional golfer or a scratch golfer. So there's two different models that we can use, and it allows you to work out where your strengths and weaknesses are and whether or not you've improved in those areas over time through practice and other activities. So if you go to the App Store, you can type in the search for GolfMetrics as spelled on this screen, and if you use the same email address that you used to sign into the golf study, you will get a free subscription. So it will be your ID, your identifier for GolfMetrics. So you can see here I've got it on my phone, and if I click, touch with the touch screen GolfMetrics, you can see here that there are three different tabs along the top. So we've got rounds, shot entry, or results. So if we go to rounds, which it will probably come up with that the first time, I can enter add round. You can see on the screen here there's already some existing rounds that I've started to enter in here. You can see my score is very much fictitious on the right hand side here. That's because they're not completed rounds. But for the purpose of this demonstration, let's add a round. So if you press the add round button here, then it'll come up with this box. It'll be today's date, your name, the course that you played last, which in this case was Sorrento, or you can add a new course. So if we click on the previous course, you'll see a drop-down list of different courses that I've played before. So over time it becomes easier to enter this information in. So I can select an existing course, or I can add a course that I want to, and I'll just choose, where do we want to play? Royal Melbourne would be nice. Let's play Royal Melbourne. So Royal Mel. Now you only get a certain amount of characters to enter in here, so just make it an abbreviated version of the name, and I will click add round for that, and you can see now it's added that to my drop down list of different rounds. So I'm now going to select the round that I've just started here, Royal Melbourne, and I'm going to add in some fictitious golf scores. So forgive me, I'm not going to get the right holes here, but it's preset to hole 1, and if we go add shot, I can now begin. So let's pretend that the first hole is a par 4 and that it's 400 yards. Now, just on yards and meters, it's an American app, it's in yards. The best way to calculate yards is simply to add 10% to meters. So if it's 400 meters, it's 440 yards. If it's 300 meters, it's 330 yards. So you just need to add 10%, and then you'll get your yardage. So we're going to start, let's pretend it's 400 yards to the pin from the tee. So we're starting on the tee here. I can select the surface that I'm hitting from by clicking one of these 5 along here. So we're either hitting from the tee, the fairway, from the sand, the green, or the rough. So it's automatically selected tee. I could select tee if I wanted to, and then let's say it is 400 yards to the pin. The next thing I'm going to do is click either add or add next. If I click add, you'll see that my first shot has actually been recorded there, and it's 400 to the hole. If I go back to add shot again for my second shot, it'll say up the top here, add shot 2. So I'm ready to add my second shot in, and let's just say I've hit it 250 yards right down the middle of the fairway. So there's now 150 yards to go, and I'm on the fairway already, 150 yards, and I'm going to click add next. And now my third shot, let's say my third shot hasn't gone so well, and it has ended up in the rough, and I've got 50 yards to go. So I've sprayed one off, and I've got 50 yards to go. And then my fourth shot, let's just say it actually lands in the bunker. So I'm now going to select sand and say I've got 10 yards to go to the pin. That shot finally lands on the green. Let's just say it's 25 feet. So my short game's not going too well here. 25 feet from the pin. And I'm going to click add next. And let's just say I leave that to 3 foot. And then in it goes. So rather than adding the 7th shot on this hole, because I'm in for 6, so it's a double bogey on my par 4, I'm going to swipe to the next hole. And you can see up the top here, it's now become hole 2. So I've just swiped across to get to that. The other way to do it is to select that. Sorry, I'm going to cancel out, and then I'm going to select the hole that I'm up to, and I can actually scroll through here and select the hole that I want to go to. So let's go to hole 2. I hit done, and then let's say I'm going to add a shot. Now let's make it a par 3. So from the tee, let's say it's 200 yards, so reasonably long par 3. Add next. Say I hit it into the sand. Okay, and how far have I got to go? Let's say I've still got 25 yards to go. And add next. I'm on the green again. Let's say I've hit it to 15 feet. And let's just say I somehow roll that in. I've got up and down out of the bunker. And I swap to the next hole. So just by doing that, and I'm on to hole 3 there, I've completed 2 holes, so it's really quite fast. So let's have a look. If we go to the results section, even though I haven't even finished this round, sorry, I'll cancel out first, hit results, you can see what I've done here. So the first hole was par 4, the second hole was par 3, it's got my score and my strokes gained. So compared to the scratch golfer, I'm 1.7 shots behind on the par 4 when I've had my double bogey, and with the par 3 I'm 0.4 ahead. So my strokes gained on the second hole is 0.4, and my strokes gained or lost in this case is 1.7 behind what it should be if I was a scratch golfer. Now we can change that by pressing on this little red button down here, or red lettering, and now it's on the pro model. So as a pro golfer, I'd be actually two strokes behind, or 0.1 in front on the par 3. If I want to, I can change the par. So let's just say that first hole was actually a par 5. I can change it. This app doesn't know what the course is that I'm playing. It doesn't have a database or a bank of courses. You actually have to tell it what you've done. So you can always work off the scorecard if you're not sure, if you're not doing it, if you're going to do it at the end of the round. Now, what else do we need to know? If we swipe across a little bit further, you can see that there's a bunch of other information that you can get from the rounds that you've played. So I can see right here that my driving is very good, my approach game is not so good, my short game is probably not so good either, but my putting is great. So just from the limited data that I've put in there, it's already starting to tell me where the strengths and weaknesses of my game are. The more rounds you put in, obviously the more accurate this information is going to be. So generally need 3 or 4 rounds before you can see much. But generally once you get over 10 rounds, you'll get some more accurate information. And you can swipe across for a whole bunch of information that it will give you in terms of your game. Okay, very good. Now, just if I escape out of here.